Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, as it is a good Wednesday for me. Hopefully, for you guys, whether you traded with this market well or just hopefully had a great day overall. I'm going to be trying to make this video rather quick. I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. I do appreciate you guys stopping by, those of you that do. I hope you guys leave a like and comment down below if there's anything you guys would like me to do uh, in the future. As of right now, let's get into it. Let's look at our E-mini futures contract. We'll go over the monthly balance, review that, get into our weekly, review that, daily, review that, and then try to make the technical analysis portion of our 30-minute time frame a little bit quicker today. Alrighty, so not a whole lot has changed here in the monthly, right? We're still in a balance. Not a lot is going on here. We are just kind of chopping back and forth in between this area. However, we got up near our balance high and so far have rejected from it. This is an ugly monthly candle. Now this monthly range was rather small and we've began to extend it to the downside. So right now, sellers are in a little bit of control here as we've come out of balance on our daily time frame and began one time framing down and putting our weekly back into a balance. And I'll show you that here in just a second. But right now, for the month of April, we're looking to close it out still in balance with a rather small range, but looking similar to what we did in February. So let's look at our weekly. Weekly, same concept, rejecting out of that area. Cannot find acceptance above that area so far. The 4150 to 4200 area has been quite difficult. We put ourselves back into a balance by taking out the previous week's low, and we are just now forming this balance. Whenever we close out the week this week, coming in Friday, wherever we close, we'll determine how large the balance is. If we continue to move down to the downside, then we'll encompass this entire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-week range and call it a 5-week balance. However, if we do not extend the range further to the downside and we close back up, then we'll just say it is a 4-week balance using these week's range, last week's high, this week's low. Hopefully that makes sense. If you guys would like me to explain balances better, then I'll make a video on that separately. Let's get into our daily. Daily, same thing. You're seeing a little bit of rejection out of that area. We did the exact same thing back here in February, doing the exact same thing here in April, rejecting out of that area. Now let's look at what was our daily balance and how we are trading that. Sorry, let me get this in view for you. So we were in a decent daily balance up here. Rather large balance, just kind of chopping back and forth in between that balance area. And then finally came out of that balance on Tuesday to the downside, getting below the 20-day moving average. And now continuing to the downside today with taking out yesterday's low and having good continuation to the downside. Continues the one-time framing down. So we continue to take out previous day's low. Let's see if we do that. If we do continue to do that tomorrow and continue to trend lower in our daily time frame and back test the 50-day moving average right here at 40.52. If we can do that and hold it, then we'll potentially be setting up another series of higher lows, right? But that is all speculation. However, ultimate target for me would be to backfill this gap area here between the 40.30 area and 40.10 and potentially even backtest the 4,000 level. But buyers, what they want to see is us hold above the 50 or right at it, put this daily back into a balance, and then resume back up. But with that being said, let's see how we close out the rest of the week. Do we continue to one-time frame down, or do we put ourselves back into a balance by taking out a previous day's high? Volume today, decent, not bad. Slightly above average, which is what you want to see, especially on the downside. All this volume up here all these buyers up here getting trapped, and then in a short period of time begin to pour out. So let's go ahead and look at our 30-minute time frame. Excuse me real quick. Had a sneeze. All right, so let's look at what happened today, as it was a just absolute ride of a roller coaster ride for sure. In yesterday's video, I was talking about how if we opened up in the day's lower distribution and took out the daily low, we should go and get these other destinations to the downside. And that's exactly what we did. We took out the daily low in B period after opening up inside of the lower distribution. We pushed down in B period, taking out A's low, beginning to one time frame down. So it was the first time frame to take out a previous time frame's low, takes out A's low, pushes lower, fills that small gap, but gets overextended to the downside as sellers could not push this market any lower. We open up with a small set of single prints. Let me get rid of these destinations here. After filling that gap, your next destination wasn't until 40.6125, the low of day back from March 30th. But we opened up with a set of single prints in C period, and you would think if this market was serious to push down lower and go trend and hold trend, that C period would take out the initial balance low, considering it only opened up 3 points higher than B's low. So as a seller, you wanted to see us take out that low right away and continue to trend down lower. Instead, the market got too short. C rallies, backfills the set of single print, and then in D period, we pop C's high, run stops, and then push our way back to the day's high, taking out the initial balance high, getting back near the upper portion of the lower distribution. And then in E period, we pulled back near the open. You could see that because there was such a large move and the market had gotten too short, that buying against the open was a decent risk reward opportunity. And that's exactly what I did. In E period on the pullback, I got long around 4100 and 4102, just a 5 lot. And the ultimate goal was to get into the set of single prints and then get up to where the single prints filled, or right before where the single print filled, which was the overnight high session. I believe the overnight high was 41.1550, and I had my offer at 41.15. But initially we popped in F period, taking out the DE stops. So we popped up real good, and I took off a good portion of my trade at 41.08. And then had a few runners that wanted to keep on just in case we continue to push up and fill in this area with volume, because in this market, because we couldn't hold trend and we couldn't hold below the previous day's low. You felt like odds were good to continue to push up and at least backfill this set of single prints. But that was a large failure. We couldn't do that. We couldn't even get a lot of tempo and volume to the upside. So this market decided to back off and roll over. I actually ended up taking off my entire position at 41.08. So caught a nice trade there in E period for the first trade of the day. Was up nicely. I actually was shorting in C period as well against the one time frame and the set of single prints, and made decent on that, and then added to my positions, or my winning positions, here in E period on the pullback against the opening. However, I was looking for an afternoon pullback low at some point to potentially continue to rotate up higher. I got long in G period against the opening and against the at 4100 level, thinking we'd have an afternoon pullback low, we'd raise point of control and then rotate higher. And usually that is a good setup, but with the way this market has been acting and trading back inside the previous day's value with not a whole lot to lean on, no single prints. We hadn't gotten the overnight high yet. There wasn't really a whole lot in buyers' favor. So anybody that was buying up here began to get out of their positions and help liquidate this market lower. I had my stop in around D periods low. So I had a decent size lot on. I think I had a 4 lot on at 4,100 was my average price. And then I was using D's low as my out. I wanted to give the market a little bit of leeway just in case it did push lower below the open and then rotate up higher. However, once H period opened up, pushed up, couldn't get back above G's high. That should have been a telltale sign for me to get out of this position. I believe we were also battling the 144 simple moving average at the time. If I can find that real quick. Yeah, right here. I'll zoom in on it. Right here. We were battling VWAP and the 144 simple moving average. And whenever we could not get back above that 144 simple moving average, that should have been a telltale sign. And we couldn't hold above VWAP that this market may roll over and get back below the open and hold below it. And that's exactly what happened as this market just trended lower for the remainder of the day. So I ended up getting stopped out of that position, giving back a little bit off the top there. I was not upset with myself because it was a part of the plan to use D's low as my out. However, this market just was not ripe for that trade. So I accepted my loss and then watched this market push down lower into the low of day. Now, after J period failed to go low, hold trend and go trend near the lows of the day, and we were one time framing down, right? Because G stops the one time framing up by taking out F's low. Then H period starts one time framing down by taking out G's low. I period continues to one time frame down by taking out H's low. And I could have taken the short there to continue the one time frame down and at least revisit the lows. And the short from 92 down to 81 would have been a good 10-point winner. But I did not feel comfortable with that trade. Wanted to see how we reacted near the lows of the day. And then in K period, I got short against J's high around 83, using J's high as my out, seeing if we would protect the one-time framing down. And this market rolled over, and I got out of my trade at J's low at 76. So from 83 down to 76, great trade. Made back the money that I lost here in G and in H period on the long side. And then I finally decided to get long in M period against the day's low because we really couldn't go trend or hold trend below the low of day. Volume was low, and we were just kind of chopping around, and I could see that this 70 area was being protected. And so I got long around 70 in M period. This market spiked lower, and here you see 68.75, but on the MES, the low of day was 66, and that is exactly where I had my my stop at, which was 66. So when this market sped down to the downside, and before reversing and having a reversal bar, it stopped me out of the trade, and it was only a one lot, so not a lot on the loss there, but I would have made money on that trade had I not gotten stopped out. It just astounds me how this market sped down right to my stop and then ran up for a reversal bar, getting where I would have taken my profits here at L's high. But overall, not a bad day. Ended up on the day 22 points total after making a little bit on the long side up here, taking the loss here, and then getting involved on the short side here. Overall 22 points on the day is decent money. Not a lot with the MES, but I got to keep that in perspective. Early on in my career, the goal is to accumulate small wins and let them build over time. One thing to note is how we pushed up here against that upper distribution or into that set of single prints, and we rolled over. That was a great risk reward short. If you wanted to take the short up here at 41.09 because you thought we would revisit the day's low, because we did take out the initial balance low, because we did get the overnight low, and we had value overlapping the lower, great risk reward short there against the single prints, right? You're looking 09 to 16. You take your short, you add up into the set of single print fill, seeing if you reject the upper distribution. This market rolls over, gets back below the previous day's low, and you are in money land. Great risk. Even whenever we broke below the open in an H period, pushed up against G's high. Had I not been in the long here, I might have taken the short against G's high. Seeing, maybe the tempo was slowing down up here, seeing that we couldn't take out the 144 simple moving average on the 1 minute. We weren't holding above VWAP. And once we got back below the open in H period, I could have taken the short at 96 and let this thing rotate over to the lows. Even that was a great trade. And then after we started the one-time framing down, nothing told you to get out of this market until M period. Nothing told you to get out of the short side. So you take the short 98, 96 below the open, you get out down here. You're not ever going to catch the low, but let's say 74. Come on, 30 points to the downside. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're in the market for. Those are the types of trades you want to take. And hopefully I can capture some of that. And if not, hopefully you guys can see that and learn how you can see that on the 30-minute time frame here. But with that being said, all we go out with today is the high of day and the low of day. No afternoon rally high, no afternoon pullback low, no Y point of control. Only destination we have is the day's high where the single prints start at 0975. And then our low of day as well. So we'll label this high of day. And where the single prints start at 0975. And then we'll go over some if-then statements. But you see how we opened up in the lower distribution and then took out the day's low. Normally, you would do what you did here in GHI through M to the downside. But this market is not normal, and we did not do that. We actually pushed back up, but still good risk-reward short against that upper distribution to the downside. Great risk-reward short. I wish I would have taken that instead. And then we have today's low of day down here at 68.75. 68.75. Alrighty, so if we open up in today's range, expect some chop, Would not be surprised to see this market chop around inside this range for a little while, back and forth between where the single print started at 41.0975 and the day's low. Would not be surprised to see us chop back and forth. However, if we open up inside the day's range, and let's just say we open up below where change kind of took place today at 40.92. If we open up below 40.92 tomorrow, we're likely to take out the low of day and continue to one-time frame down. However, if we open up above 40.92, I feel like we'll more than likely take out the day's high and put ourselves back into an initial 3-day balance. If we open up inside the day's range and get going to the downside, your next destinations is 40.6125. Single prints start at, you got one tick at 52.75 to 52.25, 2 ticks actually, excuse me. And then that 9Y point of control at 40.4425. For your upside destinations, if we open up and we begin to move up to the upside, 41.0975, single print start, they fill at 41.1650. Then you have the upper distribution where you will look to get to the high of day at 41.4425. Above that, 41.6425. And that is all I have for you guys. Thanks for sticking around. I know these videos are always 20 minutes long, even when I say they're going to be short. They're not. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Catch you later. See ya.